Okay, first thing I have you do is actually pause this video. And I want you to click on this link here, and it's gonna take you to Quick Draw. This is a tool here. If you click, this is an AI tool. So follow the directions right here. If you hit Let's Draw, it will, well, you'll see, follow the directions. So I'm gonna pause for a second. That way you can pause the video, play with that. Once you've gone through all, I think it gives you like 6, start the video again, and I'll explain why we did that. All right, are you back? Here's Quick Draw. This is one of my favorite ways to show people like how AI works. And I got to stop saying things like that, because we have a tendency to think of like AI as this all-encompassing thing, or we think of like AI and ChatGPT as being interchangeable, and that's just not the case. So we're gonna go back to Quick Draw here in just a second, but before we do that, we're gonna go through some definitions. This is mostly in an effort for some like demystification, is what I like to call it. And I am not an AI expert. Remember, I'm a teacher. I'm an instructional coach, and so I'm not like a tech guy. I'm not in the AI world. My passion is pedagogy, teaching and learning, and the learning process. And so, but I think these things are important to at least have some sort of cursory knowledge of, in order to speak about how we're using AI to guide our instruction with our students, how we're speaking to our students about how to use AI, those types of things. So the definitions, which I won't read to you, you can pause the video, or you can go into Canvas, you can watch them right there, you can read them right there, do what you have to do. But AI is essentially a computer that can do something that would normally require human intelligence. So I always like to think of it as, like cruise control is AI, and autocomplete and predictive text and spell check. Those are all examples of AI. Been around for a very, 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 very long time. A big leap in that technology was something called machine learning, which is, as opposed to training the AI to be like, this is how you spell guaranteed, and if it's not spelled like that, then underline it in a red squiggly, right click it, and here's how you actually spell it. I know that's a simplistic way of looking at it. It's not actually how spell check works, but you get the idea. It's if-then statements, AI, right? If this happens, then do this. If this happens, then do this. Algorithmic thinking. That's pretty cumbersome and relatively limited and very narrow. And so a big leap forward in that field was something called machine learning. And that's what you just engaged with Quick Draw. The idea is that you dump a bunch of data into an algorithm, have it, quote, learn or recognize patterns, and then make, quote, decisions based off of those patterns. So if we go back to Quick Draw here, if you refresh your page, you will get back to Quick Draw's homepage here that looks like this. And then instead of clicking on Let's Draw, click on World's Largest Doodling Data Set right here. It's going to take you to every single picture you could have gotten. So what was happening when you were messing with that tool is it gave you a prompt, and then you had to draw that prompt, and then you're working with a machine learning algorithm that's sole purpose is to guess the prompt as quickly as possible. Those two things are separated, by the way. Someone always accuses me of saying, well, it gave me the prompt so it knows what it is, so isn't it cheating? No, there's no purpose in that. They've got this those two things separated. And so like if I were to click on beard here, like this, these are all the different beards that people drew when they were asked to draw a beard. Right? So one of the things, and so what happens is you are prompted to draw a beard. You draw something that looks like a beard. It goes to all those different guesses. And then once it gets beard, it puts that into its training data and moves on and gives you the next one. So if I hover over these, it is showing me the different process that people took to draw a beard. And it's really important to know that this is it's not looking at what you're drawing, it's looking at how you're drawing it. And so it's not just analyzing the picture that you give it, it's analyzing the process you go through to draw a beard. And so notice if I do this, every single one of these people, oh, not that one. I was gonna say every single one of these people draws the head first. right? And so if you're drawing beard, you might go circle, and it might be like orange, sun. But the second you start drawing something at the bottom of that circle, it's going to guess beard. The other thing that I'm noticing with a pattern is none of these people that the faces, none of them have hair, which I'm taking as a personal attack, right? But there have been 146,000 people, or at least instances of someone being asked to draw a beard. They draw. So this has 146,100 data points to say to identify the process people go through in which to draw a beard. This machine learning algorithm does not know what a beard looks like. It doesn't know anything. All it has are 146,100 data points on the process people take when asked to draw a beard. And so then it can optimize itself over and over and over again. In a nutshell, a very, very simple nutshell, that is kind of how large language models are working. They have been given hundreds of trillions of data points, and they're breaking the language down into these individual tokens, and they're looking for patterns, and they're synthesizing that, and they're always giving the most optimal or the most likely answer next. Okay, so that brings us down to these large language models. Right? They're trained on vast amounts of information. 100 trillion is not an exaggeration. Right? They've got the internet, and there's all kinds of ethics around where they got the training data. I was gonna say we'll get into that later. We're not. We're not covering that in an asynchronous course, but we can chat about it sometime if you want. And their goal is to generate human-like language in order to do a lot of language-based tasks. Now, we're seeing them expand beyond that, right? But those are your large language models. And then kind of I can't decide if it's a subsect of that or if it's an overarching category. There is generative AI. So these are your tools that are generating something new. And that's really, really important, because that's been the big leap forward here, is that we used to have AI that just if this, then that. We ask it something, it gives us something, and it's more static in a sense. Generative AI is synthesizing and generating brand new information. You and I can put the same prompt into a large language model and get two completely different things, because it's authentic and new every single time. Now, there's all sorts of ethics conversations to have around that. Is it actually new? Is it plagiarism? Is it those types of things, right? Those are bigger conversations that we have for right now, but it's really, really important to understand that what it's doing is it is analyzing vast amounts of information, and it's synthesizing that and giving you the most likely answer next. So if I were to say once upon a, most people say time, once upon a time, right? But if I were to say once upon and finish that with midnight dreary, right? Still possible, but less likely. ChatGPT might give me that some of the time, but most likely it's going to give me once upon a time. Right? Okay. Nothing really for you to do on this page. It's more just some direct instruction and consumption. So if you want to go back and play with Quick Draw, now's a good time to email me with any questions if you would like. Go back to that contact page if you think I got something wrong, if you think I'm missing something, if you got further questions you want to dig into. But if you're feeling okay for now, go ahead and hit mark as done and that next button.